Hey guys, this is Marc Goldberg from Marc Vlogs Watches with another exciting episode for you tonight. We're going to be talking about trying to maintain a sense of humor and keep a little perspective about your watch collection. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of that video, two things. First, subscribe to my channel. Second, let dogs be dogs. Be it, live it, breathe it. Support the channel by Let Dogs Be Dogs for your favorite dog lover, because I'm the co-author. Oh, and there are three things. You might hear a little bouncing, munching, crunching, banging. That's because the dogs are out and they're chewing on their bones and they might pick them up and drop them. If you stay tuned to the end of this video, I'll show you my girl Friday and her dog bone. Be worth it. She's a beautiful dog. Okay, before we get any further and jump into the meat and potatoes of this video, quick fist watch check, and here it is. Today, I'm wearing the 43 millimeter Rolex 50th anniversary Sea Dweller, 43 millimeters in 904L steel. So today, guys, I was at a family party and I was wearing the two-tone Sky Dweller. I'll drop a picture of it in here so you know what we're talking about. And that watch has an MSRP of around $17,000. I purchased it full kit on eBay for $14,000. So you see there are some things that are still available under MSRP, and some of those things are going to be two-tone. You know, guys, gold is more valuable than steel. Please try and remember that, even though Rolex would have you think otherwise. So that watch is worth somewhere in the neighborhood of, I don't know, $14,000, $15,000, $16,000. It's a bunch of money. And here I am wearing a $12,000, what is it, 11? I don't know. I'll stick the retail price of this watch in here. And but you know, by the time you pay sales tax on it, it's around $12,000. And on the resale market, what is it, around 13? So this is like crazy money. This is like huge money. And when you wander around, or when you crazy money, and when you wander around wearing a watch like this, you know, is there some part of you that hopes that people are going to notice? Do you think people are going to notice your watch? Are people going to stare at this big, beautiful, beefy, manly hunk of 904L steel? The reality is no, they're not. My partner's uncle was at the family, 4th of July barbecue today. And I said, I know he likes watches, and I know this because he's got a couple of Movados, I think, little quartz Movados. So I said, hey, want to try on a real watch? I'm kind of razzing him. I mean, the guy drives Maseratis. He's got whatever that souped up, crazy expensive Lexus is. I mean, the man has more in cars, than I have in my whole little dog farm. But I was razzing him about the watch, and I said, hey, want to try on a real watch? And he said, yeah, sure. Let me, put it on. So I handed over the two-tone Sky Dweller, and he said, yeah, this is nice. He goes, a little heavy, a little big, but yeah, it's nice. He goes, but I just really like my Movado because it's really skinny. He goes, this doesn't have a battery, does it? I said, no, John, it does not have a battery. And he said, it's not solar either. And I said, no. He goes, so you kind of have to be active? I said, yeah, you do. He goes, oh, it'd never work for me. I'm like, John, you just played 18 rounds, 18 holes of golf. He goes, yeah, but most of the time I'm just sitting at the keyboard. He's a big shot attorney. I mean, the big shot, very, very, very well respected guy in his field. So at any rate, I guess what I'm trying to tell you is, Uncle John in his big mansion at the top of his game with a garage full of Maseratis and Lexi, looks at the Rolex and goes, yeah, nice. I like my little Movado. I guess what I'm trying to say is, guys, this world that we are living in is a closed world, okay? We are preaching among the choir, which is why we will fight over whether Grand Seiko is better than Rolex. Rolex is better than, 50 Fathoms. Who invented the genre of the dive watch? Was it Rolex? In 1953, are you sure it wasn't Blancpain with the first 50 Fathoms, and every Rolex since then is a ripoff? I mean, this is an argument that we have amongst ourselves. Like, normal people don't worry about this stuff. This is my all-metal anniversary G-Shock. And, you know, I probably, to be quite frank, on some level, get just as much pleasure out of this $500, you know, G-Shock as I do, you know, out of the $12,000 Rolex. I mean, look, it has this nifty button on it, and when you push it, you know, it lights up. So honestly, if you're going to sleep in a watch, this is like the perfect watch. You know, I had a G-Shock before it that had LEDs instead of whatever this light panel is. And when I would hit the button on that older, cheaper G-Shock, it like shot out so much light, it was like unpleasant to check the time in the middle of the night. But look at this soft glow. I mean, this is fantastic. It's got world time, it's got multiple time zones, got alarms and all kinds of bells and whistles that I'm never going to use. Has a metal, you know, it's all metal, has a milled out clasp. I mean, you know, on some level, this guy here gives me just as much pleasure as, you know, as my Rolex or any of my Rolexes do. So I just want to remind you that we're lucky to have this hobby. We're very lucky to have YouTube, you know, because this YouTube channel for me is nothing more than an attempt to like spill out the thoughts that I have in my mind. I'm so glad that you're doing this with me, by the way. So that we do this often on this channel. So please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button so we can do it again. I hate doing this alone. I'm very glad to have you with me in the comments and so forth. But yeah, I guess just understand something. This is supposed to be a fun and enjoyable hobby. Please retain your sense of humor about it. If you don't like Rolex, if you're getting bored with it and you'd rather have something else like a G-Shock, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The whole point is to just have fun, some expression of watch, enjoy a little bit of horology, get on Facebook. Don't rag on the other guy's shitter. You want to know what? There are plenty of people where if they spend $100, $200, $300, $400 on a watch, that's like a huge commitment to them. This is a $500 G-Shock. And I could have bought a $40 one that would do the exact same stuff. But I like this one. There are many G-Shocks in the world, but this one is mine. Look at the light. Guys, retain a sense of humor, because as soon as you think, oh, I'm a big shot, I'm wearing a big, expensive Rolex, you know, a guy is going to pull up in a Maserati worth more than your house, and he's going to be wearing a $250 Movado. You know, this is Marc Goldberg reminding you, watches are for fun. They are for personal pleasure. This is not a competition. It is not a Lifetime Achievement Award. If it was a Lifetime Achievement Award, then I would have an entire garage full of Maseratis. What these guys are is some expression of our personal pleasure. Industrial art. In different forms, different price points. They come more expensive than this stuff. They come far cheaper than this stuff. Whatever you have, I want you to enjoy it. Thanks for joining me, and stay tuned for a quick look at My Girl Friday. You got devil dog eyes.